want to talk about xxxtention. I'm gonna meet right him real quick. Just kidding. Watch him not even be dead. But for his age, he was really, really intelligent. He didn't even live a long life, but the shit he knew about the subconscious and the conscious mind, everything like that, and who knows how he learned that from? Maybe Baphomet showed him. 'Cause he has a whole song dedicated to that deity, that statue. Baphomet is the statue with the goat feet, the female breast, the pentagram on its head, the goat horns, and he said he spoke to a Baphomet. So, but that's besides the point. He was also into the occult. There's this dude named Bruno who showed him the how to do occult, like sex magic, like Crowley, Aleister Crowley magic, and all that shit. And the thoughts came out after his death and admitted to it. And I remember like even arguing with some females that were around my age. I was a little older than them. That like he actually beat that bitch, and and that's what like made him blow up to his mugshot. But like I remember that I said no, he wouldn't. He didn't do that. They were just like that's when I realized that like people influences they're always gonna, especially like females. They love you, bro. They're gonna see the best in you, no matter what you do. And you could deny it, and they'll believe you more wholeheartedly. But anyway, I just studied the occult, and so I kind of like always knew that like something wasn't right about the case and all that stuff. And I just remember like then like it comes out that like he's in jail. Like if you watch the documentary too, like the record label owner owns Empire, and a lot of artists die on Empire. PNB Rock was on Empire, and he died. Almost like no, King Von was OTF. The Draco the Ruler was on Empire, signed to Empire before he died. Young Dolph had a distribution deal with Empire before he died, and I think like that's just kind of weird. Did they make more money on their death? These record labels owners, because you're worth more dead than you're alive, and that's some shit that he would always preach to X. And there's this interview, bro, and I can't seem to find it. They like scraped this shit off. It was on YouTube, and he talks about the third eye, and he talks about spirituality, and like in an interview, like they're talking about some deep shit, how to like open your third eye and what to do, and like what's the meaning of life and all that shit. And he said that like he doesn't want to get too into it because he's gonna get in trouble, and if he speaks about it, he could literally get in trouble. And I don't know what type of trouble he meant, like death, or they're gonna blackball him, or they're gonna kill him. I don't know. It was just he sounded like scared to talk about it, but he got really in. He still got deep into it, like the evolution. And like on the Hulu documentary, like you see, um, after his death, you see how like he talks about freeing your mind and all that stuff, and evolving as a person, and that's like the meaning of life, and that's what he was basically saying in that interview too. And it was like I remember like before that Hulu documentary came out, it was like years before that. Then the six, even with like 6ix9ine, the reason why he like did what he did, and I believe that like he was right to snitch, is because I he was an informant the whole time. I think the government put him in there the whole time, and it's those gang members' fault for not following the G code and worrying about clout and money. guaranteed shotties in prison right now. All you heard is stupid, Treyway, and shit like that. And 6ix9ine's done what he's supposed to do is chase the bag. He was a Hispanic kid that worked at a bodega and became what he became. And yeah, but that experiment has failed. But and the thing that suspicious me about the death of xxxtention, that like he could have possibly faked his death, is the video. There's like no blood, and if he supposedly got shot, I seen shit like I seen what like being shot looks like. I seen like how much blood it causes and shit like that, stab wounds and shit like that. It did not look like he got shot, and it looks like his face, one of his face tats are missing, like the clock one, and it just doesn't look. I don't know. It's just something's off about it. And like the years later that like the court case came out and stuff, and it so happens that like of course a kid that recorded his death looks like that, a skinny, frail, fucking long haired, depressed looking like pterodactyl of a thing comes out saying some shit like that he's the one that recorded it and his music meant a lot to them. A lot of X fans though, the people that were obsessed with him, were the weirdest people I ever met. And after his death, a lot of other rappers try to like carry on his style. He was like one of the only rappers I could say of this generation that made his own sound. And like the same thing, I guess Peep had a like little Peep had a thing to do with the emo shit, but Lil Peep was literally like fucking just like a puppet for everybody. He was a shy dude. He had no confidence. He had such stage fright that like he needed a Zanny before he even performed, and someone gave him a fucking laced Zanny or some shit. And that shit, I don't know, bro. That shit, like, then they made all kinds of music after his death. That shit is really